Well, it's finally stopped raining. It's not been great, as you can hear. It's pretty windy today, and haven't really been able to do an awful lot. Last night we were pretty much stuck in there because it was raining quite heavy up until the early hours of the morning. Ground still fairly wet, but I slept good. Slept like a log on the fire. So we're just going to take a look at what I do when it comes to plastic sheet, making a lean-to, or just a shelter that's strapped up between some trees. This is about keeping it cheap and not going out and buying all the top of the range gear. But what we've done here is we've got a decent bit of plastic, just cheap bit of plastic, cheap packet of cable ties, bit of duct tape. That's pretty much all you need. You need nothing else. And you've got yourself a decent lean-to that you can string up between trees, and it'll keep you dry. And rule number one in my game of survival is keep dry. Never get wet. Getting wet could be dangerous, especially in the winter. Ponchos or plastic sheets was my preferred method when I was a kid. A DPM poncho or a tarp was ideal if I needed to be in stealth mode whilst I was out there, and to be honest, I'm normally camping where I shouldn't be, so stealth mode is often where I find myself. Also for me, there are a couple of advantages to using a plastic sheet. One is the cost, the other is the bonus of having a lot more available light when it comes to filming or when you're in or under it.
We're just gonna head on down to the stream, wash our pans out, collect some more water. It's almost vertical just down over here. I mean, you probably won't be able to see it on the camera, but it is pretty steep. That's right, going down, it's coming back up. It's a killer. So you can see as these trees are fairly straight, and now this slope just drops off. It's one of the steepest valleys around Exmoor, for sure.
Freshwater minnows. We used to catch these along with sticklebacks for fun and let them go again when we were kids. Like everything else, there are probably not as many about as there used to be due to polluted streams and rivers, so it's nice to see these again. It tastes like chicken.
It's a bit windy here today. You've got wind coming in a northerly direction. So I want to take that plastic sheet that we made a tarp out of and lay it over here just to create a bit of a roof canopy here so I can put a fire outside. I'm going to stop the wind from coming down the back. So just want to slap this up proper quick, don't want to be wasting any time. I mean, it's really showery today, so I won't be surprised if it starts lashing down, but something like that would be ideal. Don't need anything fancy. Putting this down at the back. Move this over. I'll pull this out as far as I can, this side, without bringing it up back about there. So if we just find ourselves a stick, Bit of a windbreak, stop the wind from getting under. I don't want to spend too much time on this at all. So there's a basic lean-to with that plastic sheet, and that plastic sheet was about £3. The other use for duct tape is repairing jackets, repairing tarps. If you get a branch fall down and you rip a hole in your tarp, or your wooden frame puts a hole in your tarp, duct tape is probably one of the best things you can use to repair it. That's why it comes in so handy.
Finding this group of adders was an absolute bonus, especially considering the weather didn't seem to be that great, but it is warm. Like most of us, they love that warmth. This is the only venomous snake we have here in the UK, and although their bite is poisonous, it's rarely fatal unless you have some sort of allergic reaction. If that's the case, then you could have a bit of a problem, especially if you find yourself a long way from the nearest hospital. Amazing find, and tastes like chicken. Common door beetle. It's a beautiful metallic looking beetle. It's common in UK woodlands. It tastes like chicken. Bilberries, very similar to blueberries. Common in Scotland on the high ground, but not very common in the southwest of England. Usually only found high up on the moors. They also taste like chicken. So for speed's sake, so not many hours left in the day today, I'm going to use some cotton wool, a bit of cotton wool. Got plenty of it, we're only here until tomorrow. A bit of cotton wool. You can make fuzz sticks. I mean, we've all seen them, like the little fuzz sticks. But they take a little bit longer to do. In fact, they take a fair bit longer to do. So we're just going to use a bit of cotton wool. Some tiny bits of kindling, tinder. Just want to get some little tiny bits on just to get it going. The ground is a bit wet and we could make a platform for it, but it doesn't matter, it's going to catch anyway. So all the wood, all the kindling that I've collected wasn't on the ground, so it's not going to be wet. It's all quite dry. There's a tiny bit of dampness in the air because we've had a fair bit of rain lately, but this should be good enough. Should be dry enough to get it going.
As you can probably hear, it's pretty windy today. So smoke's going to go everywhere and anywhere. Once it gets going, smoke will die off a little bit. Now the fire's going now a bit better. You can see there's a lot less smoke. And the heat just pushes it up and out of the way fairly quick. So on top of the berries, the wood sorrel, the nettles, we're going to be adding a couple of earthworms in there. Just going to chuck a couple of earthworms in the mix. Earthworms are a bit, but they're really good in protein. They got about 72% of the highest protein known to man. I wouldn't normally do this. If I'm out here for a few days, I would definitely not really bother with earthworms. But if you was out here for a few weeks, then earthworms are probably something that's well worth adding to your food. Literally going to dry them on a hot rock beside the fire. They've already been purged. If you haven't purged them, all you got to do is just squeeze the shit out of them and then dry them on a hot rock beside the fire. And then crumble them into whatever it is you're eating. You don't even taste them, but you've got a lot of protein in there. So first off, we're going to take our earthworm and we're going to just put him on a hot rock beside the fire and let that one dry out. He will be dead pretty quick. He won't last long. So we're going to let that dry right out, and then I'm going to add it to the berry mix, which I've got here. Yeah, so I'm taking some of these smaller shoots, which are really the best thing. The best part of nettles, otherwise they can be a bit ropey. A few more seeds in there. Chop them up. That one's not so great. Picking the prime here, only the best earthworms, only the best nettles. And a few more seeds. So I'm going to chop these nettles up quite fine. Probably that. And then chuck them in. Got some wood sorrel. This is, I love wood sorrel. It's like apple peel. It really does taste just like apple peel, like cooking apple peel, you know. But it is, I think it's lovely. They do say you shouldn't eat too much of this, but well, I've always eaten loads of it and I've never had a problem. Never had it. They say it can give you a bit of a stomach ache, but I've always been fine eating plenty of this, and I'm cooking it as well, so put that in. Well, I don't want to miss any of this out. I do like wood sorrel. Gives it a good flavour. So that'll go in. We're going to add some sugar. Quite a lot of sugar. They're energy bars after all. So there's a fair bit of sugar there. And we want a little bit of water. You can see our earthworm there, drying out nice. Still pretty windy here. Sun's coming through, but it's windy. There's still a lot of cloud about. It's just blowing the smoke around. It just gets in your face, and it's a nightmare. But I'd sooner do it out here than in the shelter because we've got more light. These berries are simmering away nice. Got to do that really slowly and evaporate all that water until you're left with a thick tar. Once you get that thick tar, then once that worm's dried properly, I'll crumble it in. You can put it in whatever, you can put it into your meal there if you want to, but I'll put it in there because it's going to be sweet. So these are basically just energy bars. And if I was going camping or wild camping for a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, that's the kind of wild camping trip I like to do. 2 or 3 weeks is nice. 3 days, like we're going back tomorrow, because this is just not good. I don't like the thought of having to go back. I could stay here for ages until I literally run out of food or starve. It's just, you know, I love it out here. So I think this is simmering down now. It's getting quite thick. This is what we want. Still got to simmer off a bit more, but this earthworm's definitely dry. So you take this earthworm. I don't know if you can see it there. It's just dried earthworm, dried slowly, probably for about 45 minutes on that stone. And you can just literally crumble it straight into your food, whatever it is you're eating. And in it goes. Crumbles in really well. Normally if I was out for a few weeks, I would put 4 or 5 worms in there. You get quite a lot of protein from 4 or 5 worms. Just going to simmer that off now for another 20 minutes. And then I should be able to let it cool down a little bit, not too much because it will go too thick. And then I'm going to pour it into some bags. And I should get about 2 fairly decent sized energy bars out of that. Farmer's calling his dogs. Hopefully he won't bother us. I don't know if you heard that, he's blowing a bugle, so it's definitely hunting. Yeah, you can hear that, I'm sure. So I thought I'd give this a try. This chicken keema curry, and to be honest, it ain't that great. I don't know if any of you have tried any of these fire pot eat well in the wild, but I don't think you really are eating well eating one of these. They don't taste that great at all. Don't taste nothing like a curry. To be honest, I'd probably sooner eat earthworms. If I was starving, yeah, you'd have no choice to eat it, but they're pretty bland. I think it's best that you bring your own ration packs. There's plenty of stuff out there that you can bring. If you just want a 24-hour ration pack just to keep you going for a couple of days, then you're probably better off making your own, and then at least then you can put what you want in it. But these ain't that great. I've had a few of these now, and they're just bog standard, nothing special. Can't say I'll probably get one again. I think I'm going to give the rest of that to the wolf. I'm sure she'll enjoy it. Oh, I don't think she's keen on it either. It's not that great, is it? Eh? Not that great, is it, Bray? Well, it's stopped raining again now, at least. And those dogs have gone by. Because the hounds have been running through here like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, so chicken keema curry, fire pot. Yeah. But no, definitely not for me. Even Bray ain't eating it, so that says it all, doesn't it? When your dog won't eat it. So there it is, your woodland mix. Bilberries, blackberries, nettles, wood sorrel, and earthworm. Let's just give it a taste. Just ignore the fact that there's worms in it. It does taste delicious. Fresh berries, nettles. And these bars will keep you going. Obviously there's sugar in it too, which is good for energy. Does taste good. It's definitely better than that ration pack. See, even the dog didn't want to touch it. When I gave it to her, she's like,
Tomorrow is our third and final day, so look out for part 3. Travel free and travel safe.